Section 933, how can I use inequalities to solve problems? Again, this is going to be similar to a lot of the ones in this chapter where I kind of bounce around. I'll try and limit that as much as I can, but there will definitely be some bouncing around. Today you will pull together all the math you have studied in this chapter and apply it to solving an application problem. So, United Nations to the rescue. As a representative of your country, you have been sent the following letter and given an important task. Dear representatives to the United Nations, a critical matter has come to the attention of the United Nations. In the past, when a catastrophe struck a part of the world, the UN gathered supplies to give to people in need. Unfortunately, because the UN had to collect supplies from each country at the time of the catastrophe, it was always quite a few days before the supplies could be sent to the areas that needed them the most. A recommendation has come before the United Nations to create a supply of food and medicine packages for future emergencies. Each food package will be able to feed several hundred people, while each medicine package will supply one first aid station. I am asking each country to donate the same number of packages so each country shares the burden equally. I am asking, so that's important, everyone's going to have to donate the same amount of food and medicine. I am asking each country to determine, well, that's not true, but same amount as each other though. I am asking each country to determine how many food and medicine packages they are able to give. You will present your findings at today's UN meetings. Please be certain to use the information that your country's budget committee has prepared to help you decide how many packages you can afford. Best of luck in your effort to make our world a better place. So, after consulting with your country's budget committee, your teacher will supply you with some information that will help you decide how many food and medicine packs your country can afford. So essentially what would happen is there's 6 different groups, 6 countries or whatever, and it would get broken up by group. Obviously, I'm going to do them all one at a time, but that's how it would work in class. So to communicate your country's budget constraints, write an inequality expressing how many food and medicine packages your country is able to give. Let X equal the number of food packs and Y the number of medicine packs. So a couple things, again, if one country gives 50 of one and 100 of the other, every country has to give 50 of one and 100 of the other. Also, X is going to be the food packs and Y is going to be the medicine packs. So we're going to go to resource page 933, 933B and graph all this stuff. But first we need to go to 933A and figure out what these inequalities are. So if we look here, I'm just going to sort of jot these on the side, and again, we'll sort of keep track of these for later. So country A, and don't forget that X is food and Y is medicine. And that's going to be true for everybody. So because we're spending so much money on improving our hospitals right now, our funds are limited. We're constrained to spending up to, but not more than. So they can spend $300,000, but they can't spend more than that. So $300,000 or less is what they can spend. And for their country, food is $900 each, and medicine is $600. So you can see I'm kind of running out of space here. 900x plus 600y is less than or equal to $300,000 they can spend. If I go to country B, because we're spending so much on improving our schools right now, our funds are very limited. We're constrained to spending no more than $600,000. The food is $500 per pack. The medicine is $2,000 per pack, and they're going to spend $600,000 or less. I'm going to run out of room there. So you can see I'm sort of struggling for space in the margins, literally. Alrighty. Now, let's go down to country C. We'll come back to these later. Country C, it says, since our country is doing so well financially, our citizens voted that we must spend more than $540,000. So, big baller country C. So, $2,000 for a food packet, $3,000 for a medicine packet, and they have to spend more than $540,000. They can't spend even $540,000. They have to spend more than that. If we go to country D, since our country is doing so well financially, our citizens voted that we must spend more than $900,000. So again, got to spend a lot of money. Food packages are $5,000 each. plus medicine is $2,000 each, and you have to spend more than 900. You can't spend exactly 900,000. And country E, luckily our country has so many medical supplies, there is no limit to the number of medicine packets we can offer. So Y doesn't matter, right? Medicine is Y doesn't matter, but X does. However, due to farming restrictions in our country, we're constrained to donating fewer than 250 food packages. So they can't even send 250 food packages. It's 250 or less. And then finally, a general note from the Secretary General. Since your country is a member of the Emergency Fund Committee, I have a special job for you. We're expecting food shortages in the near future because of the severe drought in Sudan. Each country must give at least 100 food packages. So again, we're not worried about Y for medicine, but the X has to compare to 100. It can be more than 100 or exactly 100, but it can't be less than 100. So what we have is we have these 6 countries right here. I guess the question is, why did I run out of room on these ones? It doesn't really seem like I had to. So I'm going to rewrite this as less than or equal to 300,000. This was 600Y. And this one, again, I guess 500X plus 2,000Y. Was less than or equal to 6,000. Now, 600,000. You'll notice that none of these are in standard form. I'm sorry, slope-intercept form. They are in standard form. I think it'd be easier to turn these things in. So I'm going to subtract 900 and divide by 600. So if I simplify this, it's going to be negative 3/2 x plus 500. Again, I'm going to sort of jot this to the side. Again, all I've done is solve this equation for y. And that is negative 3/2 x plus 500. If I solve this equation for y, I'm going to get y is less than or equal to negative 1/4 x plus 300. Again, I'm kind of assuming at this point you guys are going to be okay doing this on your own, solving for y here. I don't have a lot of space, and quite frankly, I don't know if you want to watch me spend 10 minutes solving these. Here, I'm going to get y is greater than negative 2/3 x plus 180. D, I'm going to end up getting y is greater than negative 5/2 x plus 450. And we already have E and F, so I guess we'll call this F. I mean, it's special assignment, but these are already in a graphable form. We don't need to do much with that. So now what we need to do is jump over to 933B. And not going to let me do that. So I'm going to have to hop out of here and go in again. All right, so on this one, and again, guys, country A had an equation of y is less than or equal to negative 3/2 x plus 500. Of course, all of this is from that other sheet that I just did. Y is less than or equal to, hopefully you jotted these down, negative 1/4 x plus 300. C is going to be y is greater than negative 2/3 x plus 180. D is going to be y is greater than negative 5/2 x plus 450. E is going to be x is less than 250. And again, F, or special as it were, is going to end up being x is greater than or equal to 100. So what we need to do is graph all these, and color and everything else is going to be kind of a pain. I don't know how much we want to do that. I don't even know if the color will really help a ton. So I think what we do is just sort of go with some arrows and keep it sort of organized. So let's start with A. We're at 500, and it's going to go down 3 and over 2. So if I go down 100, 200, 300, I can just go over 200. So over 100, over 200. I hope you guys see kind of what I did there. I'm just sort of trying to take a shortcut. So I will go with my straight line tool and connect those. Oh, I guess I didn't take the right tool. So let's go with this one instead. And I'll get that. You'll notice that it's saying I'm going to graph below it. So again, just sort of as a matter of convenience, I'm just going to put like little arrows so I know when I go to graph this which direction it's going to be. So that one's going to end up being my black one. I think I'm going to have issues on colors here, so I'll make this one the dark green. I don't know how well that shows up, but I have my y-intercept to 300. And then I'm going to go down 1 and over 4. And again, I guess I can go down 50 and over 150, 250, 350, 400, 450s. And that's going to leave me right there, I believe. Again, I will go a straight line tool and sort of connect those dots. I meant to go below that, but whatever. And you'll see I'm going to shade below that. So again, I'm just going to kind of put little arrows so I know kind of what this ends up looking like. Here I'll go to this color green. I don't know if that's too similar. I don't know. Anyway, this green I'm at 180 and then down 2 over 3. So I'm at 180, 60, 70, 80. I'm going to go down 2. So down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. You'll notice the scale is the same. It goes by 10 either direction, and that's really important. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to just count boxes like I am. We can see that this is going to be a dotted line, and we're going to shade above it. Are they giving me a dotted line? They're not giving me a dotted line. Bummer. So down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. And again, we're going to sort of shade above that there. And I'll fill that all in later. I don't know. Let's go with red for this one. So my y-intercept is 450. On this one, I'm down 5 over 2. So I'll go down 1 set of 50, 2 sets of 50, 3, 4, 5 sets of 50. And then I'll go over 2 sets of 50. 1 set of 50, 2 sets of 50. So that's going to leave me about right there. This one is going to be, again, a dotted line as well, which is super unfortunate for me. So down 5 over 2, 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 down 5 over 2. So you can see this is, it's not difficult, but man, it's sure is a little bit on the laborious side. It's going to be greater than, so we're going to, again, have my little arrows in this direction. You can start to see that this is kind of going to be the section that it ends up being. So let's go with orange for less than 250. Again, this is X is less than 250, so X is always 250. Here X is 250, here X is 250, here X is 250, here X is 250. I can definitely do a straight line tool on this one. So it's going to be X. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Is this supposed to be a dotted line? Ah, it's supposed to be a dotted line. Bummer. All right, so I won't do that. Instead, what I'll do is I'll just keep putting my little points there. And then we want to shade less than. So again, I will sort of, we're going to have like this shaded line here. And then on F, I don't know which color. I guess I'll go with this one. It needs to be greater than or equal to 100. So greater than or equal to 100. And again, this one actually is greater than or equal to, so I can use my straight line. So it'll look like that. They just look so much more substantial. And it will look like this. So I'm going to shade this section to the right, above, to the right. So you can see these sort of kind of trail along here. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm in this direction. Then I hit this, and then I got to go in this direction. Then I hit the green. So they're setting their own boundaries, right? The red's a boundary for a while, and then the green becomes a boundary for a while. And then the orange becomes a boundary for a while, and then the black becomes a boundary for a while. And then the green becomes a boundary for a while. So they're just sort of taking spots, and this is the part that is going to end up being shaded with everything. So this is my sweet spot. This is where it's true for everyone. Now we're going to answer some questions. So I don't want to bounce back and forth and lose all this. So if you have a book or whatever, if you want to kind of jump along, I'm going to ask some of the questions and we can go from there. So 989A says, what if you had 185 medicine packs? How many food packages could you have? Well, if I had 185, so 160, 170, 180, 185, kind of going along here. I'm just seeing where it hits. It looks like it hits right there. It looks like I would have 210 food packages. So, again, that was question 89A. And we're saying if you had 185 medicine, what's the most amount of food that you can have? And again, we followed that along, and we're saying it was 210 food is the most that we could have. Okay, what about 89B? 89B says, what's the large, what if you wanted to have the most medical packs? Like here, that's not the most, that's not the most. The medicine packs is here. This is the most medicine packs, you can see right there. And you can see it's 250, 260, 270, 275, halfway between 270 and 280. So 275 medicine packs. So I'll put a B because that's what's wrong with my brain. 275 medicine packs is the most medicine packs that I can have. And then answer question 90. Question 90 says, what if you wanted it balanced? Meaning, you know, if they're going to give 150 food, they also have to give 150 medicine. Or if they're going to give 300 food, they have to give 300 medicine. So what would be the most of everything that we can get? So you can see here, like, they can all give 150 of each right here, right? But that's not the most that they can give. So what about 160? They can give 160 of each, but again, that's not the most. 170 is not the most. 180 is not the most. 190 is not the most. Right there. 200 is the most of each that they can give. If I go here to 210, 210, that's too many. So 200 of each is the most that they can give. At that point, I think I'm done with lesson 933. I think I'm done with chapter 9, and I think I'm done making videos today. Have a good one.